Nice. Good move. All right, Sam, you're swinging it pretty good today, man. Now, let's talk a little bit about practice. I mean, I know you got some things you're going to play in coming up soon, some tournaments and whatnot.
Yeah.
So when you're getting ready for those, basically, how do you practice? Obviously you can't just, you're not showing up on the first tee of the day of the tournament and being like, who's getting second, right? I mean, you got to have something that kind of gets you ready. Yeah. yeah, I'd love to do
that. What do I practice? Usually I'll go up the ladder and down the ladder. I'll hit a lot of balls.
Okay, so you'll start with like your sand wedge and just work your way up through your bag then?
Yep.
And you just kind of rake and rake and hit?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, well, I want you to start. I mean, like I said, we know you're a good player, so like we need to try to get you to focus a little more, right? I mean, we need to get you kind of zeroed in. So I want you to do shorter practices, but more focused. So,
yeah.
Maybe hit, 5-10 balls with your wedge or whatever just to kind of get warm. But then when you're warm, let's pick targets and not just say a practice green. I want you to say, I want the right side of the green.
Right.
And then let's switch clubs, because you're going to switch clubs when you're playing.
Right.
So it'll be a little more efficient practice, okay?
Right.
So what club do you have there?
7-iron.
So you got your 7-iron. So
yeah.
let's say we're playing, let's say this is like a par 5 that you had to lay up. You're going to hit your 7-iron to a layup distance for your pitching wedge, which I've got in your hand. I've got in my hand.
Do you still want this here or no?
Yeah, you can leave that there. Yeah, it's just an alignment thing. So, I mean, if you can move it off to the side so you don't have to worry too much about it.
I probably don't want that there, right?
Yeah, you can move that off to the side. Pick your spot.
Third flag.
Go through, you'll hit that, and then we'll switch clubs. Good. So we hit the target, right?
Touch right of it,
but yeah. Right of it, yeah. So now we'll go to the pitching wedge, though. So you hit your layup shot, perfect.
Yep.
Now you got pitching wedge distance in. We'll say the pin's on the left side, so we'll go, the left of that target green out there is our next spot.
The second flag.
Yeah, so we're moving. This is going to just be a little more efficient practice, because you're going to start hitting shots, like you'll be playing. Good. Good swing. So that's kind of the stuff I want you doing on the range, okay? So it's switch, do 30 to 40 balls. You don't have to. 30 to 40 balls of doing that is going to be much more efficient than you just coming out here and ripping 100 balls.
Right.
Going through the bag, okay?
All right.
So we'll do that, and then when you do go on the course to practice, play 2 balls, always pick the worst one. That way you're always in, the worst spot, and just see how you score.
Okay, worst ball scramble. I've heard of that. Yeah.
So exactly. So something like that, that'll get you to hit balls differently on the course too. And really, I mean, you call it worst. Yeah, a little off balance, right? You call it worst ball scramble, but if you're playing well, you really should be hitting from the fairway all day long, right?
Theoretically, of course.
Yeah. So sure. So that's why it's a good practice tool too, because when you're playing well, I mean, you should be putting for birdies with everything. All right, so good, great job. So that's just a little bit of the practice, that you should start to do just to get a little more efficient going into your tournaments.